The yearning many of us feel inside to ascend to higher densities is not just programming and deception. It's also because a fragment of us remembers how it is to be multidimensional. How many of us haven't looked up in the night sky, watched the stars, just to get this feeling that we want to go home? Some of us may even feel a little sad or get a feeling of being lost. We don't really understand why we feel this way, but there is a reason. It's not necessarily because we don't belong here on Earth and therefore want to go home to some other star system. It's more that we miss our abilities to be multidimensional, where the whole multiverse is our home. We feel a little bit like someone who is in prison, looking out through the bars, seeing the world outside, and get this longing for freedom. Ascension, as it is presented in the New Age movement, and in channeled material in particular, triggers this feeling inside of us. This is probably the main reason we so dearly want to believe in it, and another reason being that we want to escape from a reality we don't like. We feel we are trapped in a control system with no way out, and Ascension seems like the perfect escape. The ideas of Ascension and Ascended Masters have also been promoted by certain secret societies over the millennia, mostly to keep people who are thinking outside the box trapped within the third density. The common misconception is that by ascending we are leaving our bodies and going somewhere. We are not leaving Earth, our home, but instead, while still in our bodies, we are letting the higher densities manifest through our chakras, little by little at first, then faster and faster. We do this by activating more and more of our DNA, and not to escape to some lofty reality where everything is bliss. To become multidimensional means we are opening up again to the whole multiverse that we once were connected to, and as we evolve, our environment will gradually change, because we are creating a new paradigm. A new Earth with our vibrations, thoughts, emotions, and newly regained wisdom. Our DNA is starting to lighten up and the chakras open, one by one. Our primary body is our home station, and from there we can explore the multiverse with our thoughts and our photonic bodies. Before we are done with this paper, the difference between ascension and becoming multidimensional will be crystal clear. We experience the multiverse in all its glory from here, in 4 space-time. We need bodies to function on a multidimensional level and to have a full experience. Or as James of the Wingmakers puts it, the orientation that humanity is emerging from the relative darkness of the third dimension to the fourth dimension is a misconception of the modern-day New Age movement. Humanity evolves to embrace the multiverse, and as it evolves it discovers that its super-universe is accessible to the human mind in ways that defy logic. This is the stage upon which humanity is entering. And it is not to ascend in a vibratory epiphany to a higher dimension, but rather it is to interact with a broader multiverse of intelligence that heretofore has only been imagined by a handful of humanity's finest representatives. Humanity will remain in the third dimension, but will increasingly become aware of the higher dimensions while living in the third dimension, even as First Source, its creator, does. First Source lives in the third dimension, but is simultaneously aware of itself throughout the spectrum of the multiverse, and through Source intelligence, is aware of all life forms in all dimensions. The Pleiadians say something very similar. Still, it's not the most important thing what other people or collective entities say. What's important is what you feel, and if what you're learning gives you power and inspiration or not. That's what matters, because you are the one who ultimately will have to use what you learn. These special times we are living in are very challenging for many. both for those who are thrilled by the incoming energies and learn from the light fragments carried on by the sun, and those who are still not awake enough to recognize them consciously. There is no doubt that this dance of increased energies will also affect our environment, and it already does. Some people think that the Earth changes will soon cease to happen after an imagined culmination in 2012, but they will continue years after that. Not wanting to be alarming, but still getting real. I am sorry to say that the earthquakes, tsunamis, global warming, flooding, hurricanes, and other natural phenomena, which are not man-made by HAARP and other similar projects, will continue to occur with increased intensity long after 2012. The main reason for this is the cyclic passing of the 10th planet in our solar system if we include Pluto, Nibiru, the giant celestial body which has a 3,600 years orbit around our Sun. As Nibiru comes closer, there will be dramatic effects here on Earth and the rest of the solar system. We can go back every approximately 3,600 years in time, and we will see cataclysms having occurred with various intensity and destruction, depending on from which angle Nibiru is entering the inner solar system. We will discuss Nibiru a lot in these papers, not just as a celestial body, but as an inhabited planet with intelligent life. One of the main things is to be prepared, not only for the Earth changes, but for the changes within, where the mass awakening is taking place. Those who have prepared themselves by starting the process to connect with the multiverse will have a much easier time going through the transition. While those who haven't prepared at all, or are totally ignorant to what is going on, will have a very tough time, and some will even go insane and/or commit suicide. I am not saying this to scare the reader, just as a matter of fact. We can already see this happening around us. Many people are totally overwhelmed by their life situations and don't understand what is happening. This is why I believe the information in these papers are so important. If nothing else, I am hoping they at least trigger something within the reader to start the search for the Holy Grail, the inner knowledge. Also, different timelines are merging as we become more multi-D. We will talk more about this in another paper, and how we live many different lives simultaneously on different timelines and in different time periods. This may not be real to some of the readers at this point, but will be clearer the more you read. Others are having vivid and lucid dreams, where they connect with their multidimensional selves, meet with dead relatives or spirit guides who sometimes can be one and the same. For those who can interpret the symbolism in their dreams, may learn a lot of what is happening in their lives and in their environment. After all, it is in the dream state where agreements are made, and in certain terms, the dream state is more real than our awake state, due to that we are more multidimensionally connected on a quantum level in our dream state than when we are when awake. Many people will become more psychic and telepathic during this period. And when we notice something like that happen to us occasionally, it is important to embrace these moments and acknowledge our new abilities. Also to recognize them when they occur and work on developing them even more. It's a crucial part of being multidimensional. In the multiverse, most evolved beings are living under the law of one, which is the understanding that we are all one and what we are doing to another we do to ourselves. They have the knowledge as of who they are and where they came from. Still, it needs to be said that even in the multiverse there is corruption, power struggles, and wars, and not everything is bliss just because we open up to new realities. The multiverse is there to be explored, and it's the whole purpose, and all beings have free will to experience anything they like. That's the beauty of the game, if we look at it from the original, intended perspective. No one is going to punish you for doing something counter-survival, except yourself. We have all heard the expression, what comes around goes around, which simply is another expression for the term karma. So, we will notice when we open up our chakras that it's still up to us how we want to explore the multiverse. We can do it from a positive viewpoint or from a negative. It is up to the individual and/or the species. As long as we are separate from Source and are experiencing the Matrix Unum multiverse, there is going to be polarity, though. The huge difference between now and then is that all choices will be available to us, and we can go anywhere we want in the multiverse, but still have our base in our biological bodies. The planet we live in at the moment is very dense and vibrates within a relatively low frequency band. Things here, including our bodies, are pretty condensed and heavy. The lower the vibration, the more solid matter becomes. Hence, it's sometimes hard for many visitors from the rest of the cosmos to stay around us for a longer period of time, because outside of Earth things are much less dense. After a while, they get quite uncomfortable and need to leave, or if they don't, they may get caught up in our low vibration and may even get stuck here, which has happened. This is one of the reasons why people see strange-looking creatures all over the globe and creatures coming up from inside the Earth. Although there are native creatures living inside Earth as well, some of them are not from here and had no intention to stay. Astronauts who have left the Earth's atmosphere are witnesses to how different it feels when they leave the planet. They say it feels like a big burden has been lifted from their shoulders. Their thinking process is easier, their bodies feel healthier, and they become almost euphoric. And also, interestingly enough, the noise inside their heads are gone. It's silent. When they leave Earth, they get out of its frequency range and feel a taste of how Earth would be if we all increase our vibrations. Once the astronauts return to Earth, they get caught within the low-frequency mass consciousness again, with the consequence that some astronauts and cosmonauts fall into chronic depression and many start having alcohol problems.